Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Internet Nobodies podcast. Today, we're just going to delve into our favorite media that just doesn't really exist anymore, I guess is the best way to put it. So before we get into that, let's go around the table and see who here's at the podcast.
Hey, it's Pete, and I'm playing SpiderMan, the new movie reboot.
Hi, I'm Dale, and burn the land, boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me.
Zips.
Sorry, it's out of order on my computer. I'm Sibs, and I like my pies to not be made of dead things.
I'm Tro, and aw, ain't that cute? But it's wrong!
I'm Freddie, and hey, Crabman.
Oh, hey, Earl.
Let's start the podcast. Boop.
Never know what to do.
So, the boop.
I think there's
I
think I may have done a bad, guys, before we begin.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure that while uploading the most recent podcast, I've realized I didn't go do at all.
Oh.
Oh,
Such
okay.
a failure.
I thought it was something
I have
hit,
failed
stop
you
recording
all.
or something.
I'm like, I guess
No,
we're
I
stopping
have
recording.
failed you all.
Anyway,
I'm gonna have to re-upload it. We're gonna have to do the podcast all over again.
I quit.
All right.
so Freddie,
No, Sims, I can change.
so Freddie, what are we
change,
talking
I can
about?
change. Say it again, just because I was talking
What
over
are we
you.
talking about today?
Today we're talking about our favorite shows. I guess pretty much shows that just never got sequels or just new seasons, just canceled.
Their time came too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd like to start us off. Pete, what you got?
Me?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start us off strong. So here's the thing. If you think about it, Spider-Man has not had a very coercive string of films.
Cohesive?
Cohesive.
Coercive is like
completely different words.
Coagulated string of films. Hasn't had a coagulated string of films.
I mean, true.
And I was just like, you know what? The Andrew Garfield version, I really enjoyed his Spider-Man. I thought he was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're already on the new guy, who's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the whole thing is like I kind of wish that they could have kept going, like almost like the rest of them. Like I don't know. It's just they just never had their footing, and you could kind of say the same thing about like where I'm really going with this is the Spider-Man cartoon series from back in the 90s.
Ooh, alright, hold on,
Ooh,
real quick.
okay.
I got a question for you. Which one?
Yeah. The why Spider-Man.
Okay,
Why,
because there was one other that happened in the 90s.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It's not that one.
NPH?
The one that ended on a cliffhanger.
Fuck, that one did end on a cliffhanger.
It ended with him getting sucked into a vortex.
What?
Now here's the thing. He met the mother spider and she sucked him into a vortex to travel to another universe. Now
Wait.
here's the thing. Now calm down. Now here's the thing. This can all my issues can be resolved. TV show, movies, everything. Because they can bring them all back now with what can possibly be the multiverse.
Yes.
Because it is pretty much confirmed at this point that all the Spider-Men from other films are going to be in the new Spider-Man. Because he's traveling through different universes. And I will be more hyped than anything if they just somehow make a cartoon version of all of them and like they're just like, oh yes, we have actually secretly been leading to this the whole time. They obviously haven't, but if they can somehow work that in,
let's just
that'd be
clarify.
great.
Most of the websites that are reporting that all of them are appearing in the newest movie are the kinds of websites that just create news out of nothing and then spread it between themselves. None of them are like actual things that are typically correct.
Sibs, let a man dream.
You can dream all you want, but just don't be terribly disappointed
They
if
can
it
still
doesn't
do it
happen.
though.
That would have been great.
Still do it.
That would have been great in Into the Spider-Verse if that animated series one showed up. Yes. It was just like, oh, finally. What year is it?
He's like, what? He's like, what are you talking on? A phone? It's like, but it's not connected to anything.
I mean, they are making a second one, so who knows? Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
it's true.
next one.
Wait. All right, hold up. You're about to have the comic slash like old the old comic slash like old. I remember this shit. Are we sure we're correct? Like assholes show up in like 5 seconds, but I'll get to it when I can get to it, because I gotta double check.
Sounds like he already showed up.
Well, no, because what Pete's talking about is the Spider Wars, which was the last episode, and that didn't end on the cliffhanger. They pretty much finished the Spider Wars.
They did not.
Yeah, they did. Because right before the Spider Wars, which was season 5, back in like 95? No, 94. It was like back in 94 where they finished up the fucking Spider Wars, which was the end of season 5 on Fox Kids or whatever. They ended that one, and then right after that one, it was gonna be picked up with oh my god, Spider-Man it wasn't in the future. It was fuck, because I watched the shit out of that one too. It was where he
like
hops
Terrell
on a fucking
needs to go
ship
do
and
research.
gets. It's not even research. It's just like I'm having like uber flashbacks because I'm replaying like the entirety of the Spider Wars in my head. Because like the next series that they did with Spider-Man back in the 90s picks up like almost like immediately after that. Like maybe a few like months or so after, because Venom's on the ship on the spaceship about to sabotage it because JJ's kid is gonna be on the spaceship heading out into this one thing. It fucking veers into this weird spatial anomaly, which is when we get this other Spider-Man series. But it uses the same Peter Parker.
Does it?
Hang on.
Yeah.
1994 Spider-Man series, season 5 general
97
briefing.
to 98 was season 5. There we
The
go.
general synopsis of season 5 is Spider-Wars duology adapts the second Clone Saga from per Wikipedia.
Yeah, and then that one pretty much ends on like not a solid note, but it ends on a fucking note where he fucking saves MJ, and then that was like the end of it. Then you cut to fucking was it 99?
Also, it sounds like Pete just never caught the end of the show.
Apparently.
But yeah, because what Pete described was like when he was like, yeah, it just ends with him going to a thing. I was like, that's like Secret Wars or the Spider-Verse. Because it's like it happens twice.
I feel like
Well, because Secret Wars was also adapted.
Yeah.
They were both adapted in there.
Well then,
Per the Wikipedia article.
Our
So-
first one was a failure, Freddie.
No, I mean,
don't
no, it
remember
was solid
that.
because it was just so long ago, but it was like...
No, yeah,
I was
it's
glued to
understandable.
the TV
I must have
for
just
Spider-Man.
never seen it. Was it not on TV?
It was on TV. They did yeah, they did it on Fox.
Knowing Fox, or they aired it out of order. That's
what?
probably what happened. I said knowing Fox, they aired it out of order.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I obviously haven't seen it, and to my knowledge, it was never finished.
Well, now you can go back and finish it.
Now, all these years, guys,
I'm pretty sure it's on
living
a
a lie.
certain streaming
It's been
app.
So
it's
mad.
been 23 years.
I'm pretty sure it's on a certain streaming app that you have.
Spider-Man Unlimited.
That could be anything, Sibs. I have a lot.
D plus.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, because they've got all those 90s series and whatnot. I think it's on there.
So, Freddie,
Oh,
what you
this is
got?
probably the one that Pete's thinking of. Is Spider-Man Unlimited ended on a cliffhanger? Because it only had 13 episodes and aired from 2000 to 01.
That's probably it then.
It might have been that one.
Could be. I don't know. I don't remember.
You know what,
really
I'm gonna-
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
because he finds fucking Madam Spider at the end of episode 13, and she throws him in a portal, and then that was it. That was it. So is Spider-Man Unlimited. I did it.
Okay, this is it then. Yeah, this is it. This is it.
Holy shit!
God.
I literally just relived like a good chunk of the 90s in the span of like 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I was just.
I think we might have broken Terrell for the night. That might have been the most he can contribute because that was
No,
everything in 5 minutes.
This is technically the second time we've broken him.
What's that meme from? I was gonna say Pineapple. No, Sunny in Philadelphia, where the dude's just on the board and he's just like, okay, wait.
Oh, Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, that was basically
With
me.
Charlie,
That was 100% what I was doing right now because I was just like, nah, this is fucking wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry,
right.
but like I had to get that out of my system. It
So
was killing me.
anyway,
Freddie. I was with Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. I don't know if anyone else here has seen that.
is it the new one?
No,
No, that's not the new one.
No, not the new one. I'm sorry, Pete. What'd you say?
I said it is a show I had meant to watch, but I never actually got around to.
That
It
one
was
a
really
solid
good.
Scooby-Doo.
Mystery Inc. because they actually had overarching story, amazing character development. Like they actually dabbled around with like Fred and Daphne actually getting together and
Scooby
Shaggy and Velma.
Or, I mean, Scooby and Velma. Whoops.
Yeah.
Shaggy and
God,
Velma.
that
Yeah.
Scooby and Velma? Oh my god.
They're going down that path.
Yeah. No, I heard Freddie about to say Scoob. And
I know, because I was
yeah,
thinking
wait.
Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. and the S started coming out. But they had an overarching story throughout the whole thing, but they also had like Monster of the Week stuff, which had a lot of like nods to like classic monsters and stuff. Like they actually had a character called H.P. Hatecraft. And he was like a professor, and he's just like always coming up with these crazy monsters. It was so good.
Oh my god.
And he also
The show
really
only
hates
had 2
black people.
seasons. Damn. Yeah, the show
But,
only had 2 seasons. I thought it had
2
3.
seasons.
I'm not gonna lie.
It was supposed to have 3, but they were just like, yeah, no, cancel it.
Oh, there were
because
26
reasons.
episodes per season. That's why.
Yeah.
I could
But,
have sworn the show was more recent because I'm looking at the art and I'm like, yeah, I recognize this. I could have sworn this was more recent, not 2010.
Nope.
No,
yeah.
they replayed it like crazy for a hot minute on Cartoon
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah, they played it over and over, but for
Yeah.
some reason they just didn't. What's it called? Want to renew it for a new season, even though it was getting like the best numbers for some reason.
Because they don't like nice things.
No, apparently not.
No,
they had
they
to
really
put on
don't.
Flapjack or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Sounds about
But-
right.
But like, if you enjoy like classic Hanna-Barbera stuff too, like this is like the perfect season of like Scooby-Doo that's really awesome and like paying homage to its roots. Because there's like a whole episode called Junior Mystery Solvers Detectives Clubs or something like that, where it has like Jabberjaw, Captain Caveman.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that right now.
Yeah, I just saw that.
What's his name? The Spooky, the Groovy Phantom or whatever. I can't remember his actual
Funky
name.
Phantom. The
Funky
Funky
Phantom.
Phantom. Speed Buggy, Blue Falcon,
Speed Buggy.
Dynamite.
Yeah, like they just had like everything in there. It was such a good series too. So I don't know why it just didn't like get that extra season where they were supposed to. I forget what was supposed to happen. Someone wrote down the whole storyline that they wanted to go with, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But
Oh damn, this was nominated twice for the KCAs.
You know what probably happened was it probably got the most like views and stuff, but it probably cost a lot to make overall.
I wouldn't be
compared to other
surprised.
shows. And because of that, it doesn't matter how well it does because they will make cheap cardboard cutout Teen Titans Go bullshit.
yeah,
because relatively, even if less people watch it, it costs nothing to make.
it's true.
Because there's also not a lot of merchandising money to be made.
That too.
And they
Yeah.
like that. I mean, that was why Young Justice got canceled the first time around because they couldn't get enough merchandising money off of it.
Oh
Despite it
fuck,
being,
that show did stop.
Yeah.
but it's back, so it's off the list.
yeah.
Oh, they brought
Scratch
wait.
that one off the list.
All right, but
Yeah.
here's a very important question to me, or for me, for them bringing it back. Did they decide to continue doing stuff with Virgil Hawkins?
He's
Like
getting
Sam
his
Shaw?
own show.
Okay.
I think he's getting his own show, but you know, he
Death of
was
Terrell number 3.
he was in
Let's go.
season 3 because they had Jefferson,
Yeah.
Black Lightning in it, so he was kind of mentoring him through season 3.
That's
season
I
4's
remember
on
that.
deck.
That's why I asked, because I was like, I remember they did the cool thing that I wanted to always see with Static Shock. Is Static Shock?
I was just about to say,
Black
when are we
Lightning.
getting Static Shock back?
So, all right, so I'm going to touch
they?
on that real quick.
Well, they just put the original show up on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to watch that then. So yeah, touching on Static Shock real quick, because that was one I did want to bring up, because that I feel like that show ended way before it should have ended.
Oh, it definitely did.
Because it touched on like a lot of things that like you don't normally see in like a lot of superhero shows, not movies.
Or in shows in
but-
general.
Yeah.
Where was that?
But so with this news of them possibly doing giving him another show, I'm stoked. But also on top of the whole
But
entire Static
it's
Shock
been in
thing-
development hell for a while. So, but
hopefully I have
sorry. They announced it at DC Fandom in August of last year that they're doing a live-action Static Shock movie.
Oh, I'm gonna be interested in that too. Either way,
So,
anything
yeah.
Static Shock, I'm a fan of. But
Yeah.
so apparently, and I think I caught wind of this last month, that they're also touching up on a lot of the old. I forgot what the name of the company that Static Shock started from, but they're touching up on a lot of the comics from that brand. And Static's should be getting like another short comic soon. And they showed some of the art for it too, and it looks really good. But Static Shock was like ended way before its time, because like it touched up on like a lot of things, not only just like in the black community, but on top of that they touched up, like they had an episode where they explored dyslexia, because Rubber Bandman couldn't
Yeah,
read.
he was dyslexic.
Yeah. So like at the end of the episode they kind of explained it, and I was like, I can't think of any like hero show that's done this. That's dope. But then then there was another episode where there was a team up with Static Shock and Batman.
Oh, God, I
And
remember
like,
that.
yeah, because the one Boom Baby chick, Bang Baby chick, she had like ice powers or whatever. But she
yeah,
ran away
and he-
from home and like a bunch of other things, and like they approached that fucking good.
Yeah, at the end, he pulled a Batman where he just like disappeared out of nowhere, and Batman's just like, oh, he's good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, like that character had like
Also,
a
when
lot
he
going on.
teamed up with him a couple times, because like I think the second time he's like, hey, where's Robin? He's like, with the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And then there was another one. There was another like mention of Static Shock in the Justice League when they get ported like towards the future. So they ran into
Oh yeah,
Batman
when
Beyond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Batman Beyond and him did not get along.
No. But yeah, it was interesting. That character had like so much that you could do with it. He had so much potential, and I wanted to see more.
And
of
he
that
still
animated
does.
potential.
They should bring him back.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorites.
Yes.
They're
Oh,
working
man.
on it. They're working on it.
So
Yeah.
Well, they need to work on it harder.
So there's a show I watched a while back that only had one season. I'm so mad it didn't get picked up for another. It was an MTV series, which actually, now that I think about it, I wish I'd remembered this was on MTV back for our MTV episode.
Damn.
Death Valley. Did anyone watch that?
Never heard of
Maybe
it.
it
think
sounds
so.
familiar.
It was really obscure. It was a
No,
it was a
not
black
at all.
it was a dark comedy mockumentary. Basically, so it's like a year prior to the start of the show, vampires, werewolves, and zombies start showing up in the San Fernando Valley. So the
Okay.
police have to adapt, and they basically create a task force to deal with the undead. And it's all about essentially a fake documentary about them trying to, like, you know, basically their day-to-day lives. So, like, for zombies, it's just like, well, if you get a call about a zombie, yeah, you just go there, you shoot it, dispose of it, make sure, you know, deal with anyone else who gets bitten, and it's just a shit like that.
That sounds interesting.
The
Yeah.
werewolves.
so it's is it comedy or
Yeah,
Is it...
it's a dark comedy.
Okay, so it's Reno 911 with zombies.
More or less, and werewolves and vampires. And basically, yeah, because there's a part where it's like they're going door to door for all known werewolves and be like, hey, full moon's tomorrow night, you got your safe room all ready? Like, is it up to code? And it's basically them checking checking out, like, yeah, no, you got strong enough chains to hold you back, good, you're good. And then basically the vampires are the mafia.
Oh my
Oh
god,
God. Because
And
of course they
that's
would be.
nuts.
it was a great show, and it got like towards the end it got super dramatic because there was a part where like one of the officers, her niece, was actually considering becoming a vampire, and it was like this whole thing of like her essentially getting involved with like gangs, but they're vampires instead. And it ended with this like super intense like Mexican standoff, and like the vampire like has the girl hostage. He's like, yeah, like you're letting me get the fuck out of here. All of a sudden, a fucking lizard man jumps out of the shadows and fucking rips his head off and runs off into the night. And they're just like, what? And that's how the show ends, with the introduction of lizard men.
Great.
That sounds like a great show.
It really does.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
It's only like 12 episodes.
Yeah, it's 12 episodes and it came out in 2011.
Yeah, I heard about it from an old podcast. They're like, yeah, this show just came out. It's super good. And yeah, MTV canceled it.
Damn.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting premise, though.
Yeah, it really is. I love the idea of like cops dealing with supernatural
Hey guys, let's buy the rights for it. We'll make our own show with blackjack and hookers.
I mean, that was kind of in there already, but yeah.
With more blackjack and even more hookers.
Actually, I have another show that... actually, someone talk about something else while I look up if this show actually concluded.
I've got a show.
What you got for us, Sibs?
Okay, so this was a very short-lived British series called The Fades. It had aired on BBC America when it aired here. Now, season 1 was only 6 episodes long, and it got nominated for... I think it got nominated for all sorts of awards and stuff, and then it got canceled anyway. Yeah, it actually won the BAFTA award for the best drama series the year it came out in 2012, and it still got canceled.
Like I said, it probably won because it was amazing, had great production value, and cost a lot of money, and didn't make as much back.
Probably didn't
it's
help.
All business. In the
probably
end.
didn't help that a whole bunch of the cast members then jumped ship and joined the cast of Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, okay.
So,
That would do it.
The general background of the show is there's the main character who's a kind of a nerd at school, doesn't have many friends, and his best friend who's an uber nerd. This kid has horrible dreams of the apocalypse and starts seeing these things that are called the Fades, and they're spirits of the dead that just kind of are out and around everything, and they basically kind of torment his mind. And he starts meeting other people that can see them who are trying to save the human race from preventing the Fades from becoming tangible. And it's basically like a war between the Fades and humanity to prevent the Fades from becoming tangible, but it never really gets very far because only 6 episodes happen. So it leaves on a huge cliffhanger and you get 0 resolution, and 6 episodes was not enough. But it basically kickstarted the career of Daniel Kaluuya, who just won a Golden Globe the other night or something? For something else?
Good for him,
yeah.
But 6 episodes isn't good enough for anything.
No, it was very disappointing because when episode 6 aired here was the night after it was announced that it was canceled. So it's okay, I'm invested, and now I know it's canceled, and now I get to watch what's now the series finale, and get left wanting more forever.
That's the worst.
That's why I never started, because I didn't I was gonna bring it up a little later, but since you start talking about it's stuff similar now, I never watched the Constantine TV series, even though I want to so badly, because I know it's only got 1 season and it was immediately canceled. But I don't want to start something and enjoy it for it to just be over.
But Matt Ryan joined the cast of Legends of Tomorrow playing Constantine. So there's continuity even though the show ended.
I just can't. Unless something else continues, I'm not even going to touch it.
I will say this about that Constantine. I do need to watch the actual show. But the guy that they got to play Constantine fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Fucking nailed
Matt
it. Matt
Ryan's awesome.
Yeah, I saw his cameos and a few of the DC shit. I was like, this dude's amazing. Where'd they get him? Fucking keep his ass on this shit.
I mean, I think they had him voicing him in the animated stuff too. They like him for Constantine.
Oh fuck, did they? Because like
I
the
think
fucking
so.
Justice League Dark was great.
Yeah, I think he's the voice of him as well.
Yeah. That Constantine show, I do think also like hands down, definitely it had a lot of potential, especially with him. God damn it! All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up because fucking he's great.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, no.
Matt Ryan is John Constantine. They kept him for the VA as well.
Fucking speaking of, and I feel like I'm gonna bring this up because I'm not entirely sure if it got canceled. But maybe someone can help me out on this one. Was Justice League Unlimited canceled?
I remember.
No, I mean Justice League technically ended because the thing is they wanted to end the series with the Batman Beyond thing where Terry finds out that Batman is essentially his father. But they actually didn't use that as the last episode.
Because Cartoon Network screws things up again.
Yeah, they wanted that to be the final episode for Justice, because technically it's canceled, I guess, but they wanted to end it there.
Yeah, it was canceled, but they let it end the way they wanted it to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about this as we were just talking about all that. I was just like, let me look something up, and I just looked up Justice League, and I was just like, okay, there was Justice League, and I know Justice League Unlimited was the continuation, but I wasn't sure if like Unlimited just fucking ended on a cliffhanger, because I remember like they had like one last episode, and you got to see all this like superheroes essentially just fly off screen and shit like that, or whatever.
Actually, no. Yeah, ends in a cliffhanger.
Fucking wow.
Yeah, they start chasing down whoever the villains that were in that episode, and then it ends as
right, because they gave them a head start.
them.
Yeah, because Batman was a cheeky motherfucker. It's like, we'll give you a 5-minute head start.
Yup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so that one ended on a cliffhanger.
So I found what I was looking for.
Oh.
Technically, it did end, but not the way it was supposed to.
What did?
A certain Canadian TV series starring Jason Mewes as a perverted janitor. Taught in the Book of Pure Evil.
Yes, I remember this.
Which was such a good show. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's basically about two metalhead stoners at a Canadian high school who unleashed the Book of Pure Evil, which was written in blood and bound in Judas's foreskin. And basically, it's a book that grants you your heart's darkest desires, but it's very monkey's paw, and it always goes horribly wrong.
Like, how large of a book is this? Why is that book so large?
Yeah, it's a huge book. For instance, there's an episode where this really stupid kid at school keeps getting bullied for being dumb. So the book shows up, and he tries to read it, but he can't, so it just forms pictures. And he basically wishes to be the smartest kid in school, so the book creates a smoke that makes everyone else dumber than him. There's one where a bullied gay student uses the book to make every other guy at school gay, but it makes him straight. So everyone just bullies him for being straight.
Wow, that's actually an extreme twist on the monkey's paw thing right there.
It's not only that, like whenever like the book is used and then they solve the problem, the book just flies away like a bird, but it doesn't turn into a bird.
Yeah, it just flaps.
It just flaps and flies away.
Yeah, and
that's wild.
Yeah, and then eventually they get joined by this hot punk girl and this nerdy girl that has a crush on Todd, and it's all about them trying to stop the book from destroying their high school, which exists in a town that was founded by Satanists. And yeah, it was a great show, and it ends on this huge cliffhanger because there's this whole thing about it's Todd's destiny to save the world. But there's also these 3 townies that hang out in the parking lot that are...
I thought it was his destiny to destroy the world.
Oh, yes, it was his destiny to destroy the world. Or save it, I can't remember. It was weird.
No, it was destroy.
Yes.
They needed him to unleash something from the book.
Yeah, and basically there's these 3 metalheads that hang out in the parking lot that are in their 20s, but they're hanging out in a high school parking lot. And turns out they're demons. And yeah, they end up it ends up with like Todd about to fulfill his destiny, and they're like, "Don't worry, guys, we'll make a third season." And they're like, "We're not making a third season." And then like 4 years later, they're like, "We're making an animated movie," which came out in 2017. The last episode, 2012. The beginning of 2012.
I'm gonna have to go find that because I did not know the movie came out.
Yep, it came out. Apparently, it's on Vimeo.
Oh,
I thought you was about to say
I mean,
Daily
it's a
Motion.
website.
I would be like, Rob?
Straight to Crackle. But yeah, that was a great show. It has that musical episode, which was really good because it had that song, "Being Horny Makes Me Horny."
Really?
Yeah, it's a really good song. It's so dumb, but yeah, it's a really stupid show, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have to watch that 'cause that's one I always wanted to see, just never really did.
I would say it's worth it overall.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
What
pretty
was
fun.
that thing that those three guys would always say? Loser.
Yeah, do like a little like
Loser.
head waggle and like a draw like an L in the air or whatever. Yeah, they're great. I love the episode where he calls them a loser and he's just like,
It was so funny. He's like they called them losers and they were like, how dare! Like someone insulted their mamas.
Oh, man. Alright, so I have one that I was going to mention earlier until, like, fucking I had to kick off into, like, red string on fucking thumbtacks mode. So, back in the 90s, I think I said it earlier before podcast because I was trying to get my timeline straight. Yeah, it started in 93, so why I have a vivid memory of the show is beyond me. But SWAT Cats, the Radical Squadron, was from like 93 to 95. I was born in 92, so when this shit started, I was like 1. So like, this show was dope as hell. It had some very interesting characters, and a mayor I always question to this day because his fucking priorities were just not in the best of spots.
he was a 90s mayor. All 90s mayors were like that.
I want to say he was an Irish 90s mayor because he had that, like, I wish I could do his accent, but it's just such a specific thing. Because if you heard it, you would go, oh, that's Mayor Mox, or whatever his
Manx.
name was. Manx. Mayor Manx.
Voiced by Jim Cummings.
I don't know who that is.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Tasmanian Devil.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that blew my mind. All right. Fucking, I learned something new today.
Congratulations.
But then it's just
You're
like
welcome.
You had characters like fucking Dark Cat, Dr. Viper. It was a very weird show, and I feel like at some points if you was high, kind of trippy. But it like the show is about these two cats who worked in a junkyard, and they built their own jet out of scrap at the junkyard. And they were like vigilantes who always use their jet to pretty much solve most issues or whatever. But they were so geared out that like they could launch motorcycles from the jet. Like the jet carried like these two pods that would just drop out the bottom of the out of the jet, and they would be motorcycles. Or like in the one episode where this whole entire town was flooded and had like this weird like mutagen going on or whatever, they dropped out fucking jet skis out of the thing. I think they built their own car at some point. They had like various different kinds of missiles. Like one of them was basically a fucking piranha. They had it was so dope, and I think one of the characters could have been an awakening for most people. God, if I could remember her
Callie.
fucking name. Callie Cat.
Yeah, Calico Briggs.
Yeah, a lot of the names here were like just some ounce of a fucking
Oh, Manx.
Cat
Cat puns.
Yeah.
Abyssinian. Oh no, that's not.
Abyssinian?
The two
Yeah,
main
Abyssinian.
characters
Is that type of cat?
are named.
Yes.
Yeah, the two main characters are named Jake Razor Clawson and Chance T-Bone Furlong.
forgot their names.
And the name of the city was Mega Cat City. Do we see a theme running here? Because the name of the jet was also the Turbo Cat.
There was a character called Mad Cat who I forgot existed. It was a parody of Jay Leno, who was a court jester who was replaced. What was it? He got revenge on the jester that replaced him. So the king and the queen imprisoned him in a jack-in-a-box, and centuries later, once someone like played the jack-in-the-box, his like spirit took over their body and like went on a crime spree.
I remember that,
wild.
dude. Now, yeah, the show was really wild because there was moments where they got thrown back in time and had to deal with dinosaurs. Then they got thrown into the future in another episode and like somewhat met like future versions of everybody. Oh, dude, this show was like all over the place. It was so good.
Yes, I vaguely remember it.
There's an alternate dimension. There's an alternate dimension where the SWAT cats and Callie are evil and are trying to take over the city.
I said Callie Cat. It's Callie Briggs.
No, it's Calico Briggs. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I said her last name was Cat. I fucked that.
Oh yeah. I can understand why you made that mistake.
Yeah. Oh, the Past Master. This fuckwad. It was
Did
basically
it have,
just a
on
warlock
Cartoon Network
cat
or something?
No, it was a warlock cat that used a fucking pocket watch as a means of just slinging spells, essentially. Yeah, he's an undead sorcerer. Reading it right now from the Dark Ages.
What did you say, Freddie?
I said I could have sworn like it had reruns on like Cartoon Network or something.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It reran. I want to say they had reruns going on until like maybe 98. Maybe 98.
It says that it was on Cartoon Network throughout the 90s rerunning, and it was on Boomerang until 2013.
Yep.
Okay.
God, the show was good. The show was really good. I might be looking at this. Yeah, I might be looking at this show with like some rose goggles or whatever.
Probably.
But like, as crazy as this show was, there was a lot of good in it. It's fucking ridiculous and fun to watch. It's like Freakazoid, where Freakazoid had like a lot of like random shit going on with it, but you would always watch it because it was always interesting.
Freakazoid. Freakazoid was so good. It's so hard to find now.
Leave the beavers alone!
You creep! Go have a coffee with some cream and sugar.
We're having a happy time here!
It's the best scene.
Speaking of shows that were canceled, Freakazoid.
Yup.
Yeah. Also, they did try to bring back SWAT Cats with a Kickstarter.
Yep, I know. I was well aware of that.
It failed, sadly. Was Freakazoid canceled?
What?
Was Freakazoid canceled?
It says too expensive for a third season.
I believe it. I honestly believe it.
Too good to live. Remember when it was about a kid that turned into Freakazoid and then they just forgot he existed?
Yes.
What was the kid's name? Dexter Dax or something like that?
Dexter Douglas.
Dexter Douglas, thank you.
Yeah, his cat put in a secret key sequence into the internet.
No, get out of here.
Yeah, his cat walked across the keyboard.
No, not that.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm about to drop something that might blow your fucking minds.
Uh-oh.
Get the fuck. Hold on, keep going. I'm just watching this clip real quick. No, get the fuck out. They really did bring Freakazoid into Teen Titans Go.
What?
Yes, episode 35 of season 6 called Hug Bees. They brought so I'm watching this clip. It's like 3 minutes, and the very
you don't
first
need to watch the
character-
clip. It's on Wikipedia.
Oh, I didn't even check that. I just saw the clip. I was watching a Freakazoid thing. But, so I'm like 15 seconds in, and they bring the dude who's just nothing but a brain with a face out of the fucking shadows.
Oh, Loeb.
Yeah, Loeb! Oh my fucking god.
Who's your favorite, Freakazoid villain?
Can we count the fucking beaver dude? Because, like...
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, him, wholeheartedly.
Wait, there was
him.
a villain voiced by Tim Curry?
Yes, it was okay.
Dr.
So there was an
Mystico.
episode of Freakazoid where they essentially recreated the what was it? The
I wanted Dr. Moreau.
Yes, that.
Yeah,
And
turned orangutans into
he was essentially Dr. Moreau.
My favorite was Candlejack.
Oh, Candlejack's
Oh
another good
God.
one.
Don't say his name. What? Candlejack. God damn it. There was the episode where it was like, now with the new Scream technology, whenever the word Scream appears on TV, now you know it's time to scream. Spooky guy shows up, scream.
So speaking of the internet and Tim Curry, there's another show that got canceled that I really enjoyed when I was younger in like the 90s.
I'm down for
Superhuman
this.
Samurai Cyber Squad.
Tim Curry was in that?
Yes, he was KiloCon.
I've never seen it,
Evil-
so it means
Oh
nothing
yeah,
to
he
me.
was like
So
He
can
was
I
like
say
the
something
evil-
funny about that?
Yeah,
Is
what's up?
I didn't even know that show existed until I was watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they went down a whole fucking list of tonkatsu, and I was just like,
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
What? Yeah, I was like, Superhuman. I was like, that sounds like it's made up, and I googled it. I was like, what the fuck?
Nope.
And then like the other one that I wholeheartedly believe that this show should just have not existed, but I'm glad it stopped. Was the fucking Beverly Hills
Tattooed
like,
teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills.
That one. That one was too wild of a concept.
That one was so stupid. But yeah, no, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was actually a really good one. Like, it's very 90s. The only reason it was made was because there was like a feud between the guy who owned Deke Entertainment and what's his name, Haim Saban. So like,
What?
the
Haim
guy was
Saban
like,
had a feud with someone?
I know.
No.
It's not like him at all.
He's so
But,
open with all of his IP.
But yeah, no, he was like, he's like, I'm gonna get back at him. I'm gonna make this better than Power Rangers, and like, some episodes were, better than Power Rangers, especially like the monster designs. I think were so much cooler.
Yeah.
Oh. That reminded me of something. I don't know. I gotta check. I think they ended the VR Troopers.
VR Troopers
they-
got canceled, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say
man.
that's been a while.
So did Big
Yeah.
Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh, that
I
was gonna
love
be the next
Big
one I was
Bad-
gonna ask about.
That show was so freaking good,
It-
and the only reason it was canceled was because the source material in Japan
Ended.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Like,
sense.
because the thing is, like, because in Japan it was a similar Power Ranger situation.
Yeah, it was
where,
a Metal Heroes series.
Yeah, like whatever happened in Japan, like had a completely different plot with like teenagers or whatever fighting. But in America, they were just kids fighting monsters, and it was hilarious. And because the original one didn't have any more scenes for them to use, they had to end it, which was
Yeah.
funny, even more funny because technically season 2 was taking assets from a completely different series. It was just close. It was like close enough to the Beetleborgs because they used similar armor.
Yeah, I think it was
So they're just
another Juko B Fighter or something
It
like
was.
that.
Yeah, it was
just
completely
staring at
different. different
It
series.
says that they took monsters from Power Rangers in space.
Okay.
Okay, so
Also, that's why
Big Bad
that's why they're rude.
Beetleborgs used footage from the Metal Heroes series, Juko B Fighter and B Fighter Kabuto.
Okay. So yeah.
I just found this line from the fucking Wikipedia plot for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Mhm.
Under the plot, meanwhile, Malcolm Frink, another student from Sam's school, is designing monsters on his home computer when KiloCon, an escaped military artificial intelligence program that was presumed destroyed in the power surge, visits him by his computer and strikes a Faustian deal with him. And I'm like, this show does not have the right to use the word Faustian deal. How dare you reference Faust?
I'm sorry,
It's
but
Tim
it had
Curry.
Tim Curry, so yes, it has the right
Yes.
to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah,
All right,
that is,
Dale gives it a pass.
that is a Faustian deal indeed to make a deal with Tim
Yeah.
Curry.
Yes.
Tim
I just want to make a
Curry-
side mark onto Power Rangers real quick. It's not canceled, or it might be getting canceled again. I don't know. But every time where they're like, "This is the last season of Power Rangers,"
They
holy
na-
fuck
they
is
nail it out
that
the
like
park.
the best fucking season ever?
Yeah. Yeah, fucking.
That's exactly why, because they always think it's the last one, and then it's
Yeah, they
not.
just go nuts.
So they,
Yeah,
exactly.
Me and Freddie had this conversation. I want to say the other day.
Yeah, like last week.
Yeah, like some point last week where we were talking about it because I was mentioning how there's one series of Power Rangers that I really love because they broke the fucking fourth wall. Because
RPM.
RPM.
I was about to say, is it RPM?
Yeah, it's RPM. Because the Green Ranger is like, alright, so I got a question for you. So, you know when we transform and there's like a giant explosion that happens behind us? Can that like happen anywhere? Like if I was just taking a shower, can I just all of a sudden just explode for no reason? And everyone looked at him like, wait, what? So they actually explained it in the episode, and later on, the Blue Ranger used it because he was explaining something on the phone to all of them, and then he jumped in. He showed up as two of them were getting jumped with his back to the enemy, transformed, and the explosion did damage to the fucking goons. And it was just like, can we just? Because I was watching it on Netflix and I paused it. I was just like, I gotta get up and walk away because this is just way too good. I can't.
Some Deadpool level shit.
Yeah, I was like, this is the best way you break the fourth wall. At least with Power Rangers, is you bring up the fact that there's always an explosion behind them, you explain it, and then later on somebody weaponized it.
Terrell, you know what you'd probably like? Another show that ended before its time was Akiva Rangers.
Yes.
I
So
started
that
watching it
show
for a hot
is-
second, and I need to catch
Dude,
up.
Yeah,
There's
was
only two seasons,
Yeah.
and it literally ends with okay, I guess like I shouldn't say.
Spoiler
I'm not gonna say-
territory.
I'm not gonna say how it ends because Terrell just said he's gonna watch
Okay,
it.
I
But
know
it's-
he gets a
it's-
battleizer, and it's basically a waifu though.
Like, yes, it is a waifu action figure gun.
Yeah.
This is literally just a show that is a parody of like the Super Sentai series type things, where it's like fighters, and he literally breaks the fourth wall himself. Like he's like at the end of season 1, he's like, all right, if I'm correct, this letter that is very important to the plot will not be able to leave me. So he like turns it into a paper airplane and throws it into
That's right.
a stream, and some random guy fishes it out, and he's like, "Hey, I think you dropped this."
Oh my god.
And
yeah,
he's
that's
like,
great.
"You see?"
That's great.
It's like it's a ridiculous show, and I love it.
It's-
And they're okay. The person who like pretty much gives them their gadgets and stuff is Dr. Professor Hakase, and in Japanese that's called Hakase Hakase Hakase.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
So her name is Hakase Hakase Hakase.
Okay, yeah, I've
Jesus
definitely
Christ.
watched this.
I just love too that it's done by the same is it Toei does
Toei
I think
animation.
it is.
Sentai? It's yeah. No, it's not Toei.
Is it?
Oh
I have
god,
to
wait.
look it up. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's Toei.
think
But
it's
it's
Toei.
done by the same exact studio that does Super Sentai, so they were just using all the actual Super Sentai props and stuff.
Oh, it has to be Toei.
Yeah, I think it is Toei. I'm blanking on who does it.
I'm double checking.
I'm looking at
Yep.
it right now.
Yep.
Okay,
It is
it's
not.
Toei,
It is
okay.
not part of the official Toei. Where was it? It is not part of the official lineup in Toei Company's Super Sentai franchise, but is instead a parody geared towards adults who are fans of the franchise's children.
They are legitimately called the unofficial Sentai Akiva Rangers.
God, yeah.
That is the name of the
Yep.
show, and they are the reason they're called Akiva Rangers because their base is located in Akihabara, which is Nerd Central in Japan.
Pretty much.
Oh man, this
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I definitely gotta watch this.
It's a great show, and it ended after 2 seasons, and it's just I love it so much, but like I hate the ending.
Yeah. But that was also, I think that was an anniversary season too, so that's why they did it. I think it was the 35th.
really-
It came out around time of Gokaiger, I believe.
If they ever come out with another, I'm gonna be like all over that shit.
So, do we want to talk about Firefly?
Yeah, that was on my
Yeah, we can
list.
talk
I
about-
was fi-
That's
I
on
was
my
figured
Talk about
we'd
the
save that for
literally
last.
the biggest dead before it should have been dead
Yeah.
series of all time.
Yeah. Sips, have you watched Firefly?
I've watched it. I enjoy it,
She
but I do
lived
think
it.
it's way overhyped for what it is.
Yeah.
I can understand.
I will
really see
agree
that,
with
yeah.
that. I'll definitely agree with how
And,
hype
yeah.
how much hype it garnered, but it was definitely a good series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
It's an excellent show. I just it definitely deserved more than one season, but
It just got so
because
much
it was
hype.
canceled so soon, it's been held to such a pedestal on such a pedestal that it's
Yeah.
because I didn't watch it first run.
Neither did I.
I saw it when
Same.
it aired on Science a few years ago,
Oh, I watched it on Netflix. When it
Right?
was on Netflix.
and
I think me and my dad
so
watched it on first.
it was
run.
on Science Channel maybe like 10 years ago or something like
Okay.
that. And it was like, okay, this is a great show, but Cowboy Bebop's better. Like,
It's not a contest, Sibs.
Ooh.
they're both spaghetti westerns in outer
Yeah.
space.
Yeah,
They're
once you said-
functionally almost the same show.
Once you
still
said
watch
that,
it.
I
And
actually have to
they
agree
were
with that.
almost and they were made almost in the same time frame. Bebop was 97
No.
Right.
Never seen Bebop.
and
98, I thought it was Bebop.
yeah, because it aired 98. So it
it
aired
aired
here,
here in, like,
in
99.
2001. But 98, Firefly came out in 99. So for all intents and purposes, they're both being developed in the same time frame.
It's also very similar to what was it, Outlaw Star. Then when people making that comparison too.
Oh,
Right.
Never saw-
my
All
God.
of
never
them
saw that
came out
either.
around this. All of them came out around the
Yeah.
same time. They're all spaghetti westerns in outer space. Trigun too.
Trigun I did see.
Trigun's not. Well, it's not space, so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah,
take
it
place
is.
on Earth.
I
Wow.
mean, it doesn't take place in space adventures.
It's-
it takes place on what could be considered a Mad Max planet.
Right, but he's an alien.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I forgot about
He's
that.
a-
It's been a
he's a
long time
plant.
since I've seen that.
So yeah,
about
I
that.
mean, they all came out in a similar time frame. I just think that Firefly gets put on such a pedestal that because it got canceled, it's held to such a high standard that nothing's ever gonna surpass it. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's not as it's way overhyped.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's got its
potential of what it
contenders.
could have been, I think, is mostly why people.
Right. But
Yeah.
I think with a show like that, it was almost better getting canceled because then they ended up doing Serenity. They got a chance to wrap it up, and it didn't have a chance to dwindle in quality as so many full-blown television shows do.
Depending on
after
how many,
season one.
depending on how many seasons they were planning on making, because that's one
Right,
thing
but remember, a lot of shows suffer in the sophomore slump. That
Oh,
one
I
only
know.
had one season. So, season one was superb. It didn't have to have a potentially mediocre season two, and then they got to make Serenity a few years later.
I
For
do.
me, Firefly is. They wrapped it up nicely when they got the opportunity to.
I can see
I
that.
do
Well, I
really
mean,
like Serenity. Serenity was
Serenity's
a good fucking movie.
really good. I just wanted more. I wanted more of that world.
Right,
if there were books-
now that the whole thing with Joss Whedon's come out, ain't nobody getting anything of
No,
any of that.
actually,
so.
I saw someone who started watching Firefly for the first time recently after like the whole thing with Joss Whedon. And they're like, yeah, it kind of taints the experience a bit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the way Mal acts towards Inara
Yeah.
is just irreprehensible. like,
Mhm.
but what was the criticism I saw was oh fuck me, I can't remember right now. There was something else, but yeah, it was mostly that. Oh, also the fact that the guy that played Jane, the Baldwin, Adam Baldwin.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Adam
remember what
Baldwin.
it.
Yeah, his fucking hand in
The
Gamergate.
non-Baldwin Baldwin.
Yeah, the fact that that back when Gamergate happened, he's the one that fucking coined the term.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
And yeah, he had a hand in that. and I
Oh
was
shit!
like,
This just reminded me that there's another series that I'm mad I didn't think about this until now. What was it? Dark Matter. I don't know if anybody here has seen that one.
I've heard of
Sounds
it, but I've
familiar.
never watched it.
It sounds a little familiar.
All right, so quick synopsis of like as much as I can remember because I sat down and watched everything in like one sitting, and that was a little too much for me. So it starts off with these people that were just waking up out of cryo sleep on this one ship, and they don't remember who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
So
Among Us.
they've been. You're not wrong. In a very
Oh,
odd
shit.
sense, you're kind of not wrong. But they don't remember who they were, so they call each other by numbers. So like throughout like a good chunk of the show, they're trying to figure out like why are they on the ship, who were they, this, that, the other thing. Now, the reason why I say you're not wrong is because one of those people were on that ship for extremely, well, not petty reason, I understand it, but when things get revealed, that dude swiftly just disappears from the crew.
Oh, hey, Will Wheaton was in it.
Will Wheaton.
Yes, he was in it.
Will Wheaton.
It's a very interesting show, and the show ends on the biggest of fucking cliffhangers. Because I think it has a comic series, I gotta look it up. I'm pretty sure there was definitely source material for this. But it ends on like a cliffhanger where like, I'm not gonna do this any justice, but I'm gonna try my best to explain it to a degree where I'm not also trying to like ruin it for some people if they want to watch it. So towards the end of the series, some shit went down, and someone's trying to fly into this thing and detonate a bomb or whatever it was. But something else like kind of detonates, which fractures, I want to say, dimensions and shit like that. And these black ships come pouring out of this fucking anomaly, and it just ends right there. And they've been like,
that's awful.
They were foreshadowing the hell out of it. Cause like later on, like a lot of things, like they figure out who they were. A lot of stuff starts tying together. They encounter this thing that allowed them to travel to a different, like a parallel universe, where like a few other things happened. They had to solve this one issue where it was like a time anomaly or whatever. So these guys had to go like forward into time to figure out, oh hey, how do we break this thing? But by doing so, they get a glimpse of what's gonna happen to like the universe as a whole. Because the youngest character on the crew, when they go like far enough into the future, she's like an old lady, and she brings up the fact of something happens, something else happens, and then the black ship. And as you're watching the show, two of these events play out, and then like it ends on like the last event that she talks about, which is the black ships. And it's just like, you're gonna end it like this on a huge cliffhanger and not continue this. Thanks, sci-fi. You strike again.
Oh yeah.
You strike again. So people have been hoping that someone else picks it up because it's a really good show. Like I named one of my ships in Elite Dangerous after the main ship in the show.
Nice.
Yeah, sci-fi messes up a lot of stuff.
Oh my god,
really do. It's a miracle they're still around.
Yeah.
That's
what Tremors, the TV series, was on.
Oh god, I forgot that existed.
Oh, I loved that show. I loved the
what show?
Tremors series. So Tremors.
There was a TV show for
series.
Tremors.
God,
Yeah.
I forgot about. Yeah, I remember watching that.
I've seen like
So that was so good.
I've seen like a good chunk of the movies. I just forgot that they had a show. I don't think I watched the show.
Yeah, I watched the show. I forget why it got canceled. I think
Because sci-fi.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I would chalk it up to.
Sci-fi cancels all the good things before their
I know,
time.
because I know they aired like half the episodes out of order, and like they had characters coming in. They were like, "Who are these characters that weren't introduced?" Oh, they get introduced like 3 episodes later because out of order.
Yeah, it was originally aired out of order on Sci-Fi. It was later aired in its proper order on G4.
Thanks, G4.
Which, by the
you
way,
always do us
is coming back.
proud.
Yes.
Is it?
But yeah, that took off after the third movie, or takes place after.
After the third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, there
it's
is.
great.
I'm now thinking about it that there was like a lot of shows or things on Sci-Fi that I recall that could have been good if they didn't end like so early, or if Sci-Fi decided to continue them.
Sci-Fi canceled a lot of shit.
Yeah.
When Sci-Fi had an anime block.
Oh my God, yeah, they did.
Oh, I remember that.
Hey,
I
they
still
aired
remember.
they aired Gundam 00.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I watched it.
It's
Yup.
about the only good thing they aired.
I'm not a Gundam fan.
God
I remember
damn it.
watching for some reason,
They aired
like
they aired the really, really terrible dub of Yamino Matsui. That was awful.
for some reason they aired the Japanese language undubbed. I mean, sorry, not subbed at all. Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z.
Maybe they did it for
And-
April Fool's Day.
No, it was a thing they used to do.
Oh, that's weird.
But they didn't really censor it, so I was like, whoa, what is going on in this?
Oh no, the fucking snort.
But I know we're talking about series and stuff,
Yeah.
But you know what movie thing that I really wish kept going past the first was, has anyone here ever seen or heard of John Carter?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
We were talking about that the other day.
Yes.
What do you think about
yes.
that?
Oh yeah, we were. We were
Yeah.
on the. Yeah, I was at your house. So okay, I'm gonna just reiterate what I said at your house, Sims. So, John Carter is a fantastic movie. I love this movie, except Disney put no effort into advertising this thing, or like nobody knew about it. The only reason I know about it is because it was when I was still dating my ex, and her father like knew about it. So, and he went to go see it 3 times in a single day.
Damn.
And I was like, well, I guess I gotta go.
Jesus.
We gotta
I
go
mean,
see
it's
it.
good, but not that good.
Well, he read the books.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, like, it was, like, I loved it. It's so good. And when I found out it was based off of a book series, and that what pretty much happened in John Carter was the first book of the Princess of Mars, I was excited for a sequel. But then I found out nobody knows about it.
So
Yeah, they didn't market the movie like at all. They went and changed the name partway through marketing it because it originally was supposed to be called John Carter of Mars, and then they just cut the of Mars part.
they just
That's
called
why I'm
it John
confused.
Carter.
They should have just called it the Princess of Mars. It would have probably been better.
That's why I'm so
except
confused.
when the movie barely focuses on the princess, that would confuse
it
people
entirely
just as much.
focuses on John Carter.
It's like
the whole
but
it's
it-
like how you get people that don't realize that Zelda's not the guy in
I was
green.
just gonna bring that up.
No, John Carter could be the Princess of Mars if he wants.
Yeah.
He didn't wear a dress like the princess did. I'm sorry.
Who says
Yeah.
princesses have
Well,
to wear
like-
dresses?
The
Yeah,
princess was wearing the dress.
Listen, she can wear whatever she wants to.
See, that's
All
why I
I'm
was
saying is
confused, 'cause
that
I could
John-
have sworn it was called John Carter of Mars. but-
It was when they
at
started
one
marketing it, and then they figured people were gonna get confused, so they cut off the of Mars part when they were
They
when
they
it
just
actually
did
came
a
out.
god awful job
See, by-
of this advertising this wonderful film.
So
by cutting it off, I got more confused.
So slightly funny story about that, and this is primarily for me. So when that movie did get announced, my dad noticed it instantly because it was originally announced as John Carter of Mars, and my dad, being the huge comic book nerd that he is, because he got excited, and I was like, what the fuck is this? He's like, okay, so he explained that there was a comic book series, John Carter, Warlord of Mars, that he collected. I don't know if he still has it. I'm not entirely sure. So John Carter is also a Marvel Comics lineup that happened like fucking in '77. So now the book series not only was a book series, it also had a comic running.
I did not even know that.
Yeah.
John Carter, official Disney princess / Marvel hero.
I don't know. Like, I gotta talk to my dad at some point and go through his some of his collection, because I know I've read like a good chunk of things like Spawn, probably when I should not have been reading Spawn. Oh wait, also did that show get canceled?
What?
Probably.
Spawn?
Probably, yeah.
Most likely.
Because that was really good too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because it had a cartoon and it had a live action movie, and the cartoon was really fucking good.
Todd
I can't help but
McFarlane's
notice a
Spawn.
lot of the Marvel TV series don't last.
I don't think Spawn was Marvel.
I mean, even the Netflix ones.
Right, but I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. made it all the way through its run.
Yeah.
Agent Carter got canceled. All the Netflix stuff got canceled, but not because of poor viewership. It got canceled because Disney wanted the rights back.
Yeah.
So
For
they
the-
just
for-
kind of
for
cut
their
them
streaming
all.
service,
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because Disney has the rights back to almost all of them now, so they kind of just cut it short to stop giving Disney more.
You mean Netflix?
No, Netflix cut them off at the heels so that it wouldn't have have as much weight when Disney takes it back.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
the hope with that is that Disney starts up some of these series again on Disney Plus.
Right.
Because I would like to see more Power Man.
Reading Spawn,
Yes.
it had a definitive ending, although
Okay.
it was a bit of a... It was basically, in the last episodes of the series, Spawn learns how to shapeshift, and appearing as Terry, makes love to Wanda, impregnating her to reveal that there's a prophecy that his child would play a deciding factor in Armageddon. But that's where it ended. And then, like, sometime later, they tried to make a sequel series, but it got canceled.
Yeah, I know that was like another good series I watched. It's like that and Witchblade that I liked.
Fucking Witchblade.
Okay, I've got a show. Pushing Daisies.
Yes!
Didn't
I
we
love
talk
Pushing
about that in a
Daisies. I
different
have that on
episode?
my list.
Yeah, I don't
That
think we
show
did.
was so funny.
Yeah,
That
that is a
show
good show.
was amazing, and it only aired 22 episodes, and it was gone far too soon.
Yeah.
So obviously Pete is familiar with it. I don't know if the rest of you are.
I've
I'm
seen
familiar
some
with it.
of
I've never
it.
seen.
I've heard the name a number of
It's
times.
so fun.
Okay, so the general concept of Pushing Daisies is you have the main character, Ned, the pie maker, who when he's a kid, he discovers that he has this ability to bring dead things back to life with a single touch.
Yep, a single touch.
But they can only come back to life for a minute, and if they are alive again for more than a minute, something else has to die to take its place.
Someone else, usually.
Someone or something.
Yeah.
He finds this out because he brings his dog back to life, and then it kills his mother.
No. I think what happened was he brought the dog back. To
Oh,
him,
and then
there was
yeah,
there
and
was
then a
no
fly.
explo-
There was a
there-
fly.
yeah, a fly died.
Right.
And then his mother had a brain aneurysm
Oh,
and
jeez.
just dropped to the floor. And then he touched her.
and
then,
brought her back to life, but then he touched something else and she died again. No, he
what
touched her
hap-
again and she died again. She went dead again because he retouched his mother. Yes.
Yeah, but not until after his neighbor's father died.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm assuming it has to do based on size, I guess. Because
Proximity.
or proximity, I guess. Because
Yeah. It's
when she
proximity. It's
died-
proximity because remember, there's an episode where Emerson runs away because he doesn't want to be the closest person when Ned does his
Oh.
trick.
Right. I
It's
forgot about that.
it's proximity based. So I remember. Okay, so he brings his dog back to life, and that's how he finds out that he has this ability. His mother has a brain aneurysm and dies. He touches her and brings her back to life, but she stays alive longer than the minute because at that time he doesn't know what the constraints are in this ability, and his neighbor's father drops dead in place of his mother. Well, he doesn't know that if he touches the thing again, it will go back to being dead forever, like permanently. He cannot bring it back. And his mother goes to kiss him goodnight, and then the contact, his mom dies again.
Oh, that's just right. I remember that because I saw that. and I was like,
Trauma.
Wow, that is just a source of nightmares. Right
And
there.
I
Yes.
also love how this series
The
is
use
played
of-
off like a storybook
Yeah, the whole
because
thing.
it has a narrator.
Right. It's narrated, it's played like it's a story, but like a fairy tale story. Everything is
Yeah.
bright colors. There's musical quality to it as well because you've got Kristen Chenoweth playing Olive Snook. And so Kristen Chenoweth is tiny. And they make so many jokes about how tiny she is. She stands on tables to get face to face with people to argue with them. It's adorable. But so the whole concept behind the story, besides the superpower, so he opens a pie shop because he can touch rotten fruit, bring it back, and make pies out of it. So he has like flowers or something. I don't remember what it is that he trades off with the fruit, but he makes the pies with this fruit that he brings back to life. So it's the freshest possible fruit it can be. Well, he finds out that his childhood crush, the girl whose father he accidentally killed, that she died. And he goes to the funeral. Well, I think he gets pulled in by a PI to do some investigating for him.
Because he's on the like the thing is the private investigator found out, he uses him to bring the dead people back to life for less than a minute and ask them who killed them.
So
Also, damn, Kristen Chenoweth is very short.
yes, she is.
4'11".
Yep.
Also, not bad looking.
Yeah,
No, she ain't.
she's awesome. But so his dead childhood crush, so they get the case and he goes and wakes her up, but oops, a minute passes and she stays alive. And the whole thing is they can never touch again.
So
So
hence
they
the
have
comedy.
an entire relationship based around the fact that they can never touch each other again, otherwise she will die.
If she
Jesus.
ever wants to kiss this motherfucker, she gets plastic wrap
Yeah.
and puts it over his face.
And I'm looking
And
at a
if he
picture
want,
of him,
and if he,
and he's
and
pretty
so-
kissable.
well, it's Lee Pace, so yes. but so, like his dog, the one that he brought back to life, because he brought the dog back to life, the dog hasn't died, and so he brought the dog back to life when he was a kid, and the dog is still alive and kicking when he's an adult.
So we don't
Well-
know if it's like an immortal thing or...
Because that never got explored, but
Yeah.
so instead of him petting his dog, he had a wooden hand like grabber type
Prosthetic
thing he
arm,
made,
yeah.
and he uses that to scratch the dog's head because he
that's
can't
so
actually touch the
cute.
dog.
And the dog also knows. The dog understands that if he
That he
touches
can't
him,
stay-
he'll die.
Yep.
Jeez.
Because the dog's seen it happen to the mother and to other people, so the dog kind of put 2 and 2 together because Digby's smart. But so,
Apparently.
but so the whole thing is he brought the girl back to life, but her aunts can't know that she's alive because they're under the impression that she died and is dead and buried. So it's also trying to hide this girl from her aunts when they all live in the same town, but her aunts are shut-ins, so she feels the need to try to help her aunts, so she tries to be all sneaky about it, and it's a whole big thing.
Also, Eye Patch Lady.
That's one of her aunts,
I know, I'm just saying Eye
Yeah.
Patch Lady.
who were
She's-
best known for being, what were they? Synchronized swimmers. It's a very cute and cheesy
It's
show.
a very silly show, but it's
Like,
amazing.
Oh
It'll
right,
give
the
you
name of the shop was
cavities.
called
It's-
the Pie Hole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, what
But,
a
like,
dark
the
concept
show
for
is
such
so
an
s-
adorable show.
It's so
Yeah.
dark and twisted,
It's like-
but
it
so
contrasts
sweet it will give
so-
you cavities.
It contrasts with itself so well.
Yeah, like the whole subject matter is dark and dreary, but it's so upbeat and like bright and colorful, and like you meet all these characters that are like involved in the crime, and there's like this one girl that, so there was one episode and there's this car that gets made and somebody so people are dying in the cars because they're being put in the cars instead of crash test dummies. Or they're being killed or something and then being put in cars that aren't functioning correctly and used as crash test dummies.
Yeah, I think it was
And this-
that. I think that's what it was.
And
That's
and this
fucked up.
one girl that worked for the car company as like a floor show model, they bring her in to ask her questions, and they bring her to the pie hole to ask her questions, and she's just like scarfing down copious amounts of pie. And they're asking her a million questions, and then she goes to the bathroom, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, because she's bulimic, and they're just playing it off as a whole thing. But no, she's throwing up all of the pie that she just ate. So, like, it's very dark subject matter that's very bright and colorful.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
I
Great
see
show.
a description of the visuals of the show saying it feels somewhere between Amelie and Tim Burton.
Yes. Yeah, like, everything is, like, the brightest possible color palette they could have selected, except for Ned's clothes, because he typically wears black. Everyone else...
He contrasts with the world.
Yeah, everything else in the show, like bright greens, bright yellows, bright pinks, everything is like as pastel and or neon as possible.
If you like just look up Pushing Daisies like on images on Google, you'll just know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I'm colorblind and I know this.
Yeah,
So,
that show was really good.
So, Freddie, do you know who the maker of that show is?
No.
Brian
Brian Fuller.
the creator of Dead Like Me.
Okay.
And Hannibal,
It was actually intended to be a spin-off of Dead Like Me.
which makes sense considering the subject matter of Dead Like Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn
Okay.
it. Can we just start like every couple nights start rewatching Dead Like Me?
I would like that.
Yes.
All right. Fuck yeah.
That show was so good.
I loved it.
I have yet to see it.
We have mentioned it multiple times. Yeah, let's do
It's
that.
so good.
We
do
have a
Dead Like
lot
Me
of shows
rewatch.
that we tend to come back to somehow magically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine is
It all came full
mine
circle.
is usually something along the lines of Viva La Bam.
Or Jackass.
I don't want to say that show was canceled before its time because it had a long run, and I'm satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he had like 2 other shows or another show after that.
Yeah, they weren't
Probably.
Nah.
Yeah, they weren't.
Like the one where he gets married and then...
as good. Yeah, that was more of a special.
Yeah, that was a whole
That's
series.
a money grab.
I would consider that entire thing a special. Like, I understand that's not, but I also wouldn't consider it
It's all
a
focused
real-
around him getting married.
Yeah.
Yes. It's almost like the last season of How I Met Your Mother. It doesn't count.
Oh my! What last
Well,
season?
it wasn't Viva
What
La
last
Bam,
season?
so it was Bam's
No, I know. It
Unholy
doesn't
Union.
count.
I'm not gonna even lie. I kind of wish that show stopped before that season, just so I could bring it
Well,
up.
they should just made it into a movie or something
Yeah.
because they stretched it out way too long.
So here's my thing with that show, and this is just like a minor side tangent, is that I do believe that show stops at season 5 because you didn't like as much as season 6 explains everything. I could have lived without it. Because there was like a lot of great like funny moments from seasons 1 to season 5. Like me and my friends have used slap bet a few times. I haven't been slapped yet.
Slap bet.
So as we near the end of the episode, anyone got anything else?
Reaper. Have any of you ever heard of Reaper?
Yes.
Oh
I've
yes,
heard of it,
hello, my
yes.
name is
Yes.
Reaper.
No. Yeah. No. No.
Yeah, the guy who ends up working for the devil,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. It's called Reaper,
Is it
but
yes
it
or
always
no?
started out with that little "hello, my name is" because he worked at a department store or Home Depot, whatever.
Oh yeah, the name tag,
Yeah.
the badge, the picture.
Yeah, I always it's like a force of habit because I thought the name of the show was "Hello, my name is
Oh,
Reaper."
okay. Because
I
Ray,
know it's
Ray
called-
Wise,
I know it's called-
Ray Wise is the devil. Awesome. That was like the best part of the whole show.
That show was actually really good.
Yeah, for all of the 2 seasons that one got too.
Yes.
That was airing the
I-
same time as Pushing Daisies, so can you imagine?
Oh,
the 2
right,
shows
that
that I
was
cared
airing
about
the same
most,
time.
both got canceled.
That's why I know about them both because I would just watch them with my
Yeah,
parents.
that's
Yeah.
right. They
When I
did
was,
air at
like,
the same
younger.
time.
And I think my favorite character from Reaper was the best friend.
Sock, yes.
Yes.
So, my favorite thing he ever did was when he got a hot stepsister, and he just
Yes.
threw his bed out the window onto a sheriff's cruiser, and he at the next morning, after he slept with his stepsister,
As you do.
as you do,
As
your hot
porn has
stepsister.
told me.
Yeah, this is how it goes.
I can't believe my
the,
hot
the
stepsister
sheriff was like,
stuck in the
"Did
dryer.
you do this?" And the main character's like, "No, I didn't do this." And then he walks over triumphant to the window the next morning and sees that, and the sheriff looks at him and says, "Did you do that?" And he looks at the main character, and the main character's just shaking his head no. And he's like, "You know what? I'm in such a good mood, I don't even care. Yes, officer, I did that to your cruiser." Immediately gets arrested.
Yes.
I think
Also,
I've
he
heard this
also
show.
he ended up in a relationship with a succubus. For one whole episode, it was great.
Him stealing all of the stuff that they used to make in order to fight the souls that they have to recollect.
Yeah,
I've heard of this show. I've never seen it. Surprisingly.
So it
It's
aired.
great.
It aired on the WB before it became the CW. And the general gist behind it is the main character finds out on his 21st birthday that his parents had made a contract with the devil prior to getting pregnant that in order to have a child, they would sell the soul of their firstborn child to the devil in servitude.
Yeah,
So
and
the devil comes collecting on his 21st birthday, and he has no idea because his parents never told him.
Yeah, and then he has to be a bounty hunter. Sounds really
Basically.
cool.
Yeah, so the devil gives him tools, vessels to collect the souls that escape from hell. So, one of the vessels that he's given is a dustbuster.
Yeah.
And he tries using it to collect the soul. It doesn't work. And then he tries it again when he encounters it for the second time, and it doesn't work because it's not charged.
Yeah.
Oh my
the,
God.
So,
the
so they
vessels
couldn't
are
catch the
always
soul
something.
because the Dustbuster was in charge.
Yeah, the vessels are always something wild, like the Dustbuster, but it's like
Yes.
they have to kind of figure out how to use it too at the same time because it's like, fuck, I actually have to charge this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked up Ray Wise, and holy fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
he is the best possible devil you could
It was
ever
fucking
hope for.
Leland Palmer in Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
Jesus
also
Christ.
in TNG and Voyager. I think he was
I've
in Voyager.
never
He was in TNG though.
I've seen like
But-
1 or 2 Star Trek episodes. That's it.
But yeah, Tyler Labine played the best friend Sock, and it was hysterical. Like, he is hands down the best character in that entire show.
Yeah.
Aside from Ray Wise. Between the two of them, those two make the entire show.
Despite the fact that it ended early, I kind of want to watch this. It sounds really cool.
I would definitely,
same.
I would definitely recommend watching it.
If I ever actually get the motivation to go rummaging through my DVDs, I have both seasons on DVD.
Oh, dope.
Nice.
So we can do something with that.
What? I watched the first episode, and they have a fucking cereal called Cocoa Balls.
I mean, listen.
The dogs too.
Gotta watch out for that copyright stuff, man.
The dogs that chase them through the store. That might be my favorite part of the whole series. Do you remember that one, Pete?
I don't. The dog's
So-
chasing them through the store?
Yeah, there's dogs that basically, because he's working for the devil, they sense like,
Oh, the devil dogs.
yeah, so there are devil
Yes.
dogs that appear, and they're led by this one itsy bitsy like little Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, right!
And Sock and the main character, I can't think of his name for the life of me right now.
Because he's not as cool as Sock.
Right, they're in the car, and they're getting ready to go out of the car to go to work, and the dogs appear outside of the car, and this little Jack Russell starts jumping up and down and up and down and up and down, and Sock's just looking at it because you can see the dog. Every time it jumps up, it appears in the window. And you can hear them all barking and everything, and this dog just keeps going up and down and up and down. And Sock just is looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, and all of a sudden he just shoves the door open when the dog jumps up, and you hear it start
God.
yelping, and it's like, oh, the poor dog. But then the dogs spend time chasing them throughout the store, and it's fantastic.
I think one of my favorite scenes that I always remember from that show, and I've used on somebody before,
Oh, Lord.
is when the love interest of the main character is
Yeah.
like puts a note on their manager's car saying, "Hey, I accidentally hit your car in the parking lot.
Oh!
Here's my phone number." So
Yeah.
So you just see the manager looking at his car, walking circles around it, looking for the damage done to his car, but there's no damage done to
Yep.
the car. and they're just like, the main character is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like, and she tells him what he did. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he looks over and he says, "Hey, did your car just get hit?" And he's like, "Yeah, why? Does it look funny?" And he's like, "Yeah, it looks a little off center in the, and the manager just goes, "I am calling this phone number." So he calls the phone number, and it's their like regional manager.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny. I've done that to somebody before. It's great.
God, what was it?
The manager also tries to convince them, because they're all like early 20-somethings working for basically like a department store that sells everything. So kind of like a Walmart or a Target, but even more so because they sell like appliances and stuff too. And I'll never forget when he told the main character, because like the main character really wasn't doing anything college-wise, really had no prospects to move on in the world or anything like that. And he pulls him over and he's like, "We're going to give you hope. Hope in the form of toilets." Because he was making him the manager of the plumbing department.
Oh man.
Oh, you're really moving up in the world.
Hell yeah, you got that promotion.
So I got one last canceled series.
All
So there was a Flash series that I used to watch called Unforgotten Realms, which was a D&D parody series. And at some point, the creator just like stopped, and it ended on a cliffhanger. Like a major character like turned evil, and like the main characters were in the past, and there's all these mysterious characters that like had like a weird analog to like the present day characters, and yeah, he just stopped, and I was just like, why? I went back and watched it recently, and it doesn't really hold up great, but it does.
I'm looking at images of it right now. It doesn't look like it holds up.
No. Also, the some of the jokes don't hold up great, but it has some of my favorite some jokes I still quote today. Like one of my personal favorites is well, if that doesn't work, I'll just do something really evil, like kill them in their sleep with a gun. Yeah, that's what that's from.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching it. I'm like, wow, these are jokes I still make today that like I got from this show. And yeah, it just stopped and never came back, which was a shame. Also,
happens,
the creator of, or one of the guys from Reaper was in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Oh yeah, it was
Tyler
it was
Labine.
Sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
That's
Tucker
the guy
and
that
Dale.
played the best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, Dale.
Yeah, Sock is the. I just love.
Where's
I
the
just
Tucker?
love him. He's a great actor. He's a funny actor.
I met him at
It's a shame he's not
Comic-Con
anymore.
once. He was doing photo ops for like $20 for some cancer charity or something.
Aw, I would have done it.
And I was in line, and there was one person left in front of me, like, before we get there, and all of a sudden somebody walks up to stop, like, just walked up and kind of, like, interrupted the photographer and whatever, and just started talking to him.
Oh,
And
that.
the photographer's like, we really need to keep going, and the guy that's standing there that started talking to him's like, oh, do you mind if I just, like, stay for the pictures? I'm pretty sure nobody else will mind. And the
Was it
photographer
just some
No,
was it a
it was
random guy?
No, it was Paul Shear
Oh,
Oh my
from
god,
like Children's
really?
Hospital and everything else.
okay.
So it was like, oh yeah, no, this is totally okay. But like the photographer had no idea who he was. He just thought it was some random guy. But everybody else that was in line, like half of us at least knew who he was, and it's like, yeah, no, that's totally worth the $20
Like,
I
I'll
was
accept
giving you.
this fate. Yeah,
Exactly.
Also, I just looked up Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. That was supposed to get a sequel.
Mm.
And
Really?
Yeah, according
Revenge of the Teens or something?
yeah, because the movie ended with the one asshole teenager surviving,
Yeah, I know.
and
The
there was
descendant of the hillbilly.
there was supposed to be a sequel, but at a Q&A panel in Boston Comic-Con in 2017, Alan Tudyk said that they were given a script for the second sequel, or for the sequel, and it was like really disappointing.
That's upsetting.
So they decide not to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for the best then, because
Yeah.
the way it ended is fine.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, we can-
perfect.
But we can actually talk about that on another podcast.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, everyone.
So it's that time. Take us
That's
home,
the time.
Freddie.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Internet Nobodies podcast. Hope you enjoyed our ramblings tonight. And like always, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can.
Oh, I can actually talk about the new thing I did.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Because today's the first day that it's out for whoever doesn't know. But I have added a little extra to the YouTube channel. Freddie, if he wants, can add them to the actual podcast stuff. But for now, it's only on YouTube at the moment. Where the format for the podcast for the moment is going to be uploaded on Tuesdays now. And every day after is going to have what we're calling a quick bit. So it's just going to be like a highlight of a funny part or a very interesting part or something good that we saw that or heard was
The best clip of
about
the episode.
yeah. The best clips of the podcast highlights. So if you don't want to listen to the whole podcast or you want to see what maybe we're going to be talking about, you can just listen to the quick bit and just be like, oh, that's funny. And maybe I'll just listen to the rest of it and see how they got to that point in the podcast. But yeah, so you can check out the quick bits.
Yeah, so subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to try and do more on that. I'm trying to get stuff together. And what's it called? iTunes, Podcast Addict, and I still got to set up more stuff. So eventually we'll have more RSS feeds going out to different podcast providers.
Maybe one day we'll have a home.
Yeah.
One day.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. I've been Freddie.
I'm Pete.
I'm still Dale.
I'm Sibs.
I'm Terrell.
And thank you for listening.
Will every Spider-Man face off in a last man standing brawl? How long before the internet nobodies get canceled themselves? And just wait until your next birthday. Someone has something important to tell you.